So I want to do a quick video, man. I was thinking about zoning. So apparently I'm hearing rumors that they're going to change zoning in Mortal Kombat 12. They're going to tone it down, okay? And zoning is a big issue, man, for people who aren't, no offense, the best of players, okay? Zoning in Mortal Kombat 11 isn't as much a problem for really good players and top tier players. They can deal with it. They'll actually destroy you if you try and zone them. But casual players and average players, a good zoner will just destroy them, okay? When I first started playing the game, it used to annoy me a little bit. But, you know, I'm the type of dude where I'll just keep practicing and get better until I learn how to deal with something. Now, here's my ideas of how they could fix zoning. First of all, one of the biggest things I think with zoning was them giving you the ability to amplify your projectiles. And I'm not going to lie, I have not played Mortal Kombat 10 in a long time, so my memory of that game is a little hazy. Maybe you could amplify your projectiles in that game as well. It doesn't really work here, okay? I think that's one of the hardest things about getting over the projectiles for casual and average players, okay? So what I've seen people do is get a character like RoboCop or Johnny Cage, and they'll shoot their regular projectile. Then the minute you try and jump, they'll amplify it, okay? I do it myself, okay? And knock you out of there. And that's really rough for average or casual players. I think when it comes to amplifying moves, it should just be special moves. But special moves that are stuff like Liu Kang's flying kick, maybe Sub-Zero slide, okay? It should be moves that are, you know, not as fast as, say, a projectile. Moves that are easier to avoid. If they're going to have that system in Mortal Kombat 12. I think they definitely should take away amplifying projectiles. Second of all, man, certain moves in the game push you back, okay? Certain special moves, combos actually push you back. Same thing with projectiles. It's not a big thing, but I think they should take the pushback on projectiles away. Now, one thing I like to do when I play with RoboCop, if somebody gets too close to me, and now I'll make certain that you eat a lot of projectiles. His cannon move, you can amplify that. They hit you 3 times. They will hit a lot of people 3 times, especially if they're sitting up there trying to walk towards you, and that will push you far. That will push you very far back. I would keep the damage, but the pushback would not be there. You wouldn't get pushed back, so it would be more easier when you're trying to walk up to somebody or dash to get close to somebody who's shooting projectiles. I don't know if that's something like that's possible or the game engine would allow it, but if you could do it, I would do that, along with getting rid of the amplifying projectiles. Now, another thing that I think would be good, okay, in Mortal Kombat 11, you have something called crushing blows and fatal blows, all right? Now, with fatal blows, once your energy gets too low, you get the ability to do your character's fatal blow, okay? Now, I would change that system, okay? You would not get that from having your energy taken and getting your energy to be down low. I understand why they did it. They did it as a comeback mechanic, and I kind of like that mechanic, but I would change it, okay? So here's the thing. You would have a fatal meter or whatever you want to call it, fatal move, super move. I prefer the term super moves. I like that better. I would have that set up where you build a bar up, and it would be your super moves. And that bar gets built up by the amount of combos that you do, not the damage that you take. Well, yeah. It would be built up basically based on the amount of combos that you are doing. Let me say this. Based on the amount of damage you're giving the other player, but it would be really for combos. You would not get it from shooting projectiles. Okay? Shooting projectiles would not build up your bar to do your super moves. It would have to come from combos. Also, your bar would build up extremely fast from getting hit by projectiles. Therefore, people like myself who love the zone, if I'm sitting out here shooting projectiles, it's not going to build up my super meter, okay, at all, okay? And you're sitting here blocking these projectiles. It's building up your super meter twice as fast. Yeah, I would have projectiles build up your super meter twice as fast, okay? So that's going to give you an advantage over me and punish me for sitting up there shooting projectiles. But at the same time, yeah, I still get the benefit of shooting the projectiles, and you still have to block them. You still have to eat that damage or jump over it or duck under it or whatever you're going to do, okay? So, in a sense, you give me the opportunity to zone if I want to, but there's a detriment to me doing it, okay? Now, you could also do something like, say, oh, one other thing. I would cut the damage down on those moves. So with the fatal blows, which I'm calling super moves now, I would cut that damage down by like maybe 30 or 40% because I think they took off too much damage in Mortal Kombat 11. Okay, but anyways, and I would let you do them multiple times. Matter of fact, I probably would cut the damage down by 50%, but you could do it multiple times. And, okay, now, another thing you could do, Street Fighter 3 had a situation where they had a parry system. You could parry everything. I don't know if Mortal Kombat wants to go that far, but you could parry projectiles, jump kicks, everything. And that would build up your super meter, okay? Now, Street Fighter 3, it was much easier to parry projectiles than it was punches and kicks, okay? But it still took timing. You still had to get good at it. If you were bad at parrying, you would eat projectiles. You would eat punches and kicks, but you would sit up there and eat a lot of projectiles as well. Now, that would be real good for people constantly shooting projectiles. Okay? And you could parry everything. Also, Street Fighter 3 had a thing where you could jump in the air and parry uppercuts, projectiles. You could parry stuff in the air. That would make it very good for getting over the people who want to shoot projectiles. If you could parry stuff in the air, so you could parry those projectiles in the air. But in Street Fighter 3, that actually took some timing. You had to get good at it. So it rewarded you for playing the game. But if you didn't know what you were doing, you're going to eat that damage. Okay. Now, last but not least, you also could do something where, and this might be a little radical. There was a game I played years ago when I was younger called Art of Fighting. And in that game, you couldn't do your special moves constantly. They would run out after a little while. You had to wait a long time till they built up. Now, I wouldn't go that far because it took too long. But say you do your special moves 5 or 6 times. They run out. You have to build those moves back up. But the way you have to build those moves back up is doing combos. So again, somebody like me who wants to sit up there and shoot 800 projectiles, well, guess what? You used up your special moves for this round. And the only way for me to build my projectiles back up is to come over there and do combos. So combos are the only thing that's going to make combos and punches and kicks are the only things going to build up my special meter or my power meter so I can shoot my projectiles again. So there's intelligent ways to actually get people to do more fighting. Okay. Now, are they going to do it? I can't tell you, but I think everything I've mentioned would be a great way to actually deal with zoning while still allowing you to zone, and also still saying, hey, we're going to give you the tools to deal with the zoning, but you're still going to have to be able to learn to play the game and understand the game mechanics. Okay. And what I was saying about your special moves having to be built up, once them being used up and you have to build them back up with punches, kicks, and combos. That could be for any special move, or it could just be for projectiles. Me personally, I would do it for any special moves because now it forces you to get up there close and mix it up. So it's a bunch of good ways they could do it. You can still do it while at the same time allowing people to zone. So these are my thoughts on fixing the zoning issue for casual and average players.